डॉक्टर अरुण जामकर हे वैद्यकीय क्षेत्रातलं एक महत्त्वाचं नाव मानलं जातं. आपल्या 30 वर्षांच्या सेवेत त्यांनी हजारो यशस्वी शस्त्रक्रिया केल्या आहेत. डॉक्टर जामकर यांनी सर्जिकल ऑन्कॉलॉजीमध्ये PhD ही मिळवली आहे. महाराष्ट्र युनिव्हर्सिटी ऑफ हेल्थ सायन्सेसचे कुलगुरू पदही त्यांनी भूषवलं आहे. विज्ञान, तंत्रज्ञान, आयुर्वेद आणि होमिओपॅथी यांच्या दरम्यान इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी सिस्टमवर ते काम करत आहेत. बदलत्या तंत्रज्ञानाच्या वापराद्वारे सामान्य माणसाचं जगणं, आरोग्य कसं सुधारता येईल यावर सध्या त्यांचा अभ्यास सुरू आहे.
We just wanted to introduce all the principles of medical ethics. But this is a very good model that all these principles, we take our sessions of 10 hours in first MBBS, and then subsequently in all subjects we do what is called as a vertical integration, that there is no ethics separately. All managements, you talk of ethics. Say carcinoma breast, surgical management, medical management, radiological management, at the end ethical management. So our own aim was to create ethical doctors so that the perception of the society changes. So we conducted several programs because all these requires a faculty development. We have 3T program, and then one of the program we invited even MCI chairman, and then she agreed. And believe me, now we have ATCOM, and with all our efforts of bioethics and ethics in education, the latest curriculum that is declared now has all the components that we talk of. It's called AETCOM, AETOM, Attitude and Ethics. So they are a victory that all doctors being trained in India from next term will be taught with bioethics. All these programs, once you want to conduct, require leadership. You need to have a committed leader to accept the changes. And therefore, what is required is a committed leader. That's why I look at Anna Bhau with this angle. He's a committed leader for ethics education, values education. I hope he remembers, when I was Vice Chancellor, I wrote to him to start a chair in MUHS on his name in value education. And believe me, after I retire as Vice Chancellor, the only binding force between us is the value education. That's why I ran here and joined him. So this is the value, say this is the leadership required. Now what is required now, so let us think about how it could be done. So that Neil's article, and there is tremendous brainstorming done across the world about how to inculcate these values education which change with every aspect. So the first step would be to think of family values, society values, those change. Then we have values coming through religion, and at the end, national values. And therefore these values need to be modified depending on the situation, but because you want a people's involvement, that is to be democratically selected. That is more important. Obviously, all these values, the mutual respect for other regions, Sarva Dharma Samabhav, and which is inculcated in Hindu religion. Ekam Sandvipta Bahuda Vadanti, that which is one the sages speak of multifarious ancient declaration of Rig Veda. So basically, universality, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that whole thing has to be the guiding force for these values. I quote, I think, there is a very favorite couplet by Anna Bhau about We are the birds of the same nest. I'm not going to repeat, but I think that is a driving force behind including these values. We need to have British values like we have Indian values for the nation. Obviously, peace begins with tolerance and respect. And therefore, the respect for others, respect for other religions, has to be a driving force. And mutual respect is the foundation of genuine harmony, Dalai Lama. So I'm just now going to show you about, because religions is a driving force in man, life. Therefore, we need to do something by which we include all the values of all the religion and see that they are taught. I think we are doing a tremendous job of understanding all the religions. I think that is I have a great respect for MIT for doing all this. Let us talk of Hindu religion, because I am Hindu. All the values, they come with dharma. The morality and ethics comes from the word dhar, which means holding together. The function of dharma is to hold together all human society. And then that whole concept of dharma, which has been narrated by Swami Vivekananda, is service to man, is service to God. Now, dharma constituted a bedrock of ancient Indian society. Dharma required a man to live in society as a civilized being, subordinating his selfish urges to the interest. So all the high standards of ethics that we have come from obliging dharma. And then we are impressed. Dharmoyam hanto dharmi dharmo rakshite rakshitah. The moment you follow dharma, dharma will protect you. So, foundations of our religions are one. Ye yatha mam prapandante tasteva bhajameham mama vartamavante manusya partha sarvashah. So, this is our basic principle which encompasses almost all principles of our religion. And we have Bhagavad Gita, which teaches you to work. Karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma palo heturbhama na sangasto karmani. So Gita gives both Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. Karma Yoga simply means the practice of one's own duties without any attachment with moral dimension. And Gita all the time teaches that Karma Yoga is always superior to Jnana Yoga. And then there should be no moha. Dhyayeto vishan pusta sangaste shupajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho bijayate krodhat bhavate sammoha sammoha smriti vibrama swati pranashat buddhinasho buddhinashat pranashyati. So this teaches you basic thing to avoid moha, because that the root of all grief is moha. And then we talk of universal peace. We just had a world peace prayer where this is there. Om sarve bhavantu sukhina sarve santu niramaya sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kashitu bhagavad. Om shanti shanti shanti. I think this is all inculcated in Hindu Dharma. And therefore we need to convince others to include all these principles in value education. Islam has similar teachings. No religion talks of different things. Same ethics, same principles, same values. Being respectful parents, being considerate to others, being courteous, everything has its rights. This is from Islam. I think Dr. Pathan would like this. The basic principle of Islamic ethics: oneness, freedom, justice, responsibility, ihsan. Then we come to Buddhism. Buddhism goes far beyond in the principles of ethics. The 10 meritorious deeds: charity, morality, mental culture, reverence, respect, service in helping others, sharing merits with others. I think we talk same language, same words in all religions. Jainism, they talk of Panchavataras and Triratnas, right knowledge, right faith, right conduct. So these are all coming from Jainism. Sikhism, because it's a new religion, commandments of prohibition of Sikh scripture called as Rahat Maryada. The Gurus by their words and deeds guided their followers to the holy purposeful life. Christianism, because almost 2/3 of world is Christian. Stewardship, sacrifice, valuing both self and others, respecting self and others, dignity of all people, and community and communal services. So, this whole philosophy of dharma, of ethics, of values, of all religions is same. Only problem is we don't know. We never study. That's why let us go back to the whole principle of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And there is one religion called Baha'i, which follows all these principles taken from all the religion. And we talk of religion too much. I think you agree with Vaswani. Religion, let us practice less and talk less. So at this juncture, what is required for a better value education is inter-religious dialogues. That's precisely what we are doing in MIT. That's precisely being done by World Chair of UNESCO Chair of Ethics, World Peace Center. Tremendous job. Under the whole background of darkness, this is a tiny light coming up, but it will shine. And this whole thing has to be in terms of peace, unity, love, religious harmony. That whole thing, we are a guiding force. So we are creating inter-religious dialogues, interfaith dialogues. I quote, this is a poetry from Iqbal, which says, Ram is Imam-e-Hind, Labrez hai prasane, Haqiqat hai Jam-e-Hind. I think the poem is long. It's available on Google. But nobody knows that Iqbal calls Ram as Imam-e-Hind, because we have a smoke screen created purposefully for the political gains. We need to go beyond and see that we reach. I think we have taken a step. I appreciate this Ram Rahim Setu, which is built by MIT, our sir. And then he was taking 1 foot ahead and trying to solve a Ram Mandir solution. So in conclusion, all religions must have been evolved, an improved version of ancient Manava Dharma, human religion emanated for the betterment of human society, Abhyudaya Tatha Nishreyas, that is material prosperity and ultimate liberation. If the basic of human religions has been justice and unity, then how can be the improvement of conflicting with it? If you analyze more deeply, it will not be necessary to discuss the role of religion in fostering unity, because religion, by definition, is that which fosters unity. I think this is a statement. So, we need to understand these are the steps taken, creating a vocabulary of ethical values across all the globe, all the canvas, and creating them. And then obviously, I need to address that all these values need to be prayed daily. Because if you pray daily, they inculcate. And this is Pasaidan, which tells you all those values across the religion. And we had a huge attempt of creating Pasaidan as a world peace player. I think that was commendable. At the end, I just want to say about there's a various methods of inculcating value education in the system, and the day will come where all these values will be taught, and we'd proudly say that we started all this in MIT, that we are proud of MIT. मैं अकेला ही जा रहा था, जाने भी मंजिल तक लोग आते रहे और कारवा बनता रहा. And the last श्लोक, नष्टो मोह स्मृतिर्लब्धा त्वत् प्रसादान मयाच्युत. Arjun says at the end to Dear Lord, I understood everything and I'm now obeying. I'm now going to obey it. So with these few words, I thank again Anna Bhau for inviting me here to talk in this prestigious lecture. Thank you.